Alright, so I decided to make a walkthrough video for the study guide for those that might need it. I don't know why this is not focusing, but we will deal with that. Alright, so quiz tomorrow, Tuesday. Here we go. Function. Okay, if something is a function, it has exactly one output for each input. So the inputs are the x's and the outputs are the y's. So this first one is not a function, and the reason is because 4, the input of 4 has two outputs. And those would be -2 and 9. Next one. This is a graph, so we learned that to test for a function, you could pick points, right, for inputs and outputs, but we also learned about the vertical line test. And so if a graph, so like our graph only hits a vertical line one time, it will, we would say that it passes the vertical line test. So this is a function. The graph passes the vertical line test. Sweet. For number 3, these are the inputs, these are the outputs, x's, y's, independent, dependent variables. This is going to be a function as well, because each input has exactly one output. This is that relation mapping. You'll know if something has more than one output if there's multiple arrows coming from set A. So like if 4 is going to 1, but if there was another arrow going to another number, then that would indicate that 4 has multiple outputs, which would mean that it's not a function. Number 4, speaking of 4, Julia is signing up for a gym membership with a one-time fee to join and then a monthly fee to remain a member. The monthly fee is $25 and the one-time joining fee is $100. I'm going to underline that because that seems pretty important. Write a function for the total cost of the gym membership, f of m, after a certain number of months, m. So months are m. Then create a function table and find the cost to be a member for 1, 3, and 5 months. So there's 5 points here. One for the correct function. So we would want the function of m is going to be the monthly fee. So per month means that's going to have the m. So it would be 25m plus the one-time joining fee. So it doesn't really matter how many months you're going to be a member. You do have to pay the $100 fee. So that's the correct function. The correct table, meaning the function table. So this is where we would set up the f of m. No, that's a lie. M comes first. That's the number of months. Then we would have our function plus 100. And then we would have f of m. That's what we'd have. Okay? So it tells us we want to know the cost after 1, 3, and 5 months. So you'll substitute these in. 25 times 1 plus 100, 25 times 2 plus 100, not 2, 3. 3. That's a 3, I promise. 25 times 5 plus 100. And then you'll just calculate this. And if you set it up like this, your calculator will automatically do the order of operations for you. 25 times 1 is 25, plus 100 is 125. So for 1 month, you'd be paying $125. 25 times 3 is 75. 75 plus 100 is 175. And 25 times 5 is 125, plus 100 would be 225. So that right there gets me all of my points. I always emphasize, try to get as many points as possible. So that right there gets me that. And that's the front page. Back page. Liam and Jonathan just bought their first cars. The equation y equals 27.6x represents the number of miles, y, that Liam can drive his car for every x gallons of gas. So this right here, and I know it's like I'm underlining a lot here, but it's all pretty important. This is Liam's information, okay? Man, I really wish this thing would focus. Okay. The table to the right represents the number of miles y that Jonathan can drive. So Jonathan, A-T-H-A-N. Find the rate of change for both cars. Rate of change, remember, is slope. And explain which car has the better gas mileage. Liam's rate of change is already done. It's already in there. So Liam is 27.6. To find Jonathan's, it's going to be your slope. It's the rate of change. So it'll be the change in the y's over the change in the x. To get from, I guess, let's see, 5 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. Okay, so this is going to be plus 10. To get from 108 to 324, I'm taking 324 minus 108. That gets me 216. So this change will be plus 216. So the change in the y's is going to be 216 over the change in the x's, which is 10, which is going to get me 21.6. So Jonathan's rate of change is 21.6. Okay. 4 points for the 2 for the correct rate of change, so that would be both of these. 1 for the correct store. This is a typo. I would say 1 for the correct person, either Liam or Jonathan, and then 1 for the correct explanation. So whose car has better gas mileage? You're going to want more miles per gallon to get better gas mileage. Okay, so I would say that Liam's car gets better gas mileage. Liam's car. And the reason is just it's more by 6 miles per gallon. Liam's car gets better gas mileage by 6 miles per gallon. And I got the 6 because I took 27.6 minus 21.6. That's how I got this 6 right here. Okay. Number 6. This is the last question. The fees to print pictures from an online company are represented by the function y equals 3 plus 0.09x. So this is the online company. So I'm going to go ahead and just write that down here so I don't forget it. 3 plus 0.09x, where y is the total cost and x is the number of pictures. The fees charged by a print shop are shown in the table. So we need to figure this out for what our function is going to be down here. This is going to be plus 1. This looks like it's going to be plus 0.09. So my slope is going to be 0.09. My y-intercept is going to be if we back it up to, like, if we minus 1 to get to 0. But if we minus 1 to get to 0, then we'd have to minus 0.09, which would also be 0. So my y-intercept is actually 0. So you're going to see that I won't put that in the function. It will be y equals 0.09x would be my function. All right. two correct rates of changes. That's slope. Slope is going to be next to the x. So it'll be 0.09, not the x, just the 0.09. And then the initial value, that's your y-intercept. So this is m, this is b. M is slope, b is y-intercept. The online company would be a 3. The print shop would be a 0. It doesn't have any. You could put plus 0, but it's not necessary. The question is asking which statement is not true. Okay, so the online company is this. The online company charges $4.35 to print 15 pictures. Let's try it. Y equals 3 plus 0.09 times 15, because x is the pictures. You can see that up here. X is the pictures. When I put this into a calculator, times 15, I get y to be $4.35, which is exactly right. So this is correct. The print shop charges $2.35 to print 15 pictures. So the print shop, I'll use this. This is y equals 0.09 times 15. Which is $1.35. So this is actually incorrect. So far, that's the correct answer. I do want to check and see these other ones. So it says the print shop does not charge an initial amount of money. An initial amount of money would be the y-intercept b. We don't have one. If you did, I mean, it would be plus 0. We don't have one. So this is true. And then D, the online company charges 9 cents per picture. Both of them charge 9 cents per picture. So that is also true. So B is the correct answer on this one. Hopefully that helps. Make sure to take a look at this and make sure to fill out your study guide, and we'll see you tomorrow.